What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Kyle Rittenhouse. What a fucked up situation this is. But I've been paying attention to the trial, watching it in the news, just like most of you guys have, back and forth over the last few days. And my guess is that he has a decent case for self-defense. And that's after watching it on both sides of the fence, watching liberal media, watching a lot of right-wing media, articles online and things like that. And of course, there's a lot of video that was released that included at least 2 of the shootings he was involved in. So my guess is he will receive an acquittal in regards to the murder charge. But why do I say there are no winners in this situation? Well, let's talk about that. And before we get into the video, I'm asking that you do what I always ask you to do. Show your boy some love. Go ahead and hit that subscription. Click the bell so you know when I'm dropping these videos. We talk about all things politics and current events. At the end of the video, give your boy a thumbs up if you like what I had to say. And if you didn't like what I had to say, feel free to hit the thumbs down, but holler at me in the comments. Let me know what the hell I got wrong. No winners in this situation. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old from northern Illinois, decides to cross over into Wisconsin during a night of riot and looting over a controversial police shooting that we're not going to really talk about, but during some horrible rioting and looting, he decides to cross over into Illinois, cross over into Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin. This 17-year-old comes over there with an AR-15, 30-round magazine, wearing bulletproof body armor. And his claims is that he was there to clean up graffiti and put out fires and protect property from being rioted, looted, whatever you want to call it. Now, I understand, particularly those who are on the right, because I've been watching a lot of right-wing media. Kyle Rittenhouse was fighting a good fight. He was there doing what the police needed, providing supplemental actions because the rioters were taking control of the area and police were outmanned, if you want to say that, and he was fighting a good fight. That's the way the right looks at it. On the left, he was just looking to kill somebody, if you really want to look at it, because he is charged with murder. So that's the way you're kind of looking at it on both sides. The reason I say he has a legitimate case of self-defense because it's on fucking video. I mean, he clearly was being attacked, hit with skateboards, kicked in the head, and things of that nature. And there is the potential that someone was even trying to disarm him. So I believe he has a legitimate case of self-defense. So why am I saying there are no winners in this? He shouldn't have fucking been there. He should not have been there. He's 17 years of age. He has virtually no combat training. I'm certain of that. No medical training, even though he claims he was there to provide medical assistance other than a few CPR certificates. But you're at an event where people are rioting and looting, setting shit on fire. What are you going to be dealing with? Injuries, trauma, burns. He's not trained to deal with that shit. He's 17 years of age. He should not have been there. I cannot stress that anymore. You're there to clean up graffiti with body armor on and a long rifle at night? That doesn't fucking make sense. He stated at the trial that when he was coming to the area, he received a text message like everyone else that told him to get out of the area, to stay indoors, the martial law type shit, because this wasn't the first night of rioting. He ignored all of that and proceeded into the area anyway. So if I had to give a phrase, in my opinion, Kyle Rittenhouse is similar to any other vigilante. Now, like I said, if you're on the right, he's fighting a good fight, kind of like Charles Bronson, for you guys who are old enough to remember the Death Wish movies. People like Charles Bronson. He would go out and he would basically kill criminals. He would, do things so that to make himself look like a robbery target, and when he was robbed, he would kill the person that was robbing him. To me, that's Kyle Rittenhouse. You show up to a violent situation, a situation that you know is violent before you go there, which is why you're wearing body armor and carrying a AR-15 with 30 rounds in the mag, is because you know you're going to a violent situation. So you deliberately and intentionally place yourself in a violent theater and what ultimately transpires is violence, which to me left me kind of baffled that he's on stage breaking down and crying that he had to shoot someone and saying, I showed up and I didn't think I would have to shoot anyone. You don't wear body armor and bring a 30-round mag and AR-15 to a scenario where you don't think you're going to have to kill anybody. Even the cops only grab their long gun when they think they're going to have to shoot someone. You just don't do that. That makes absolutely no sense at all. You or he or anyone looking at him, whether you think he was justified in defending himself or not, there's no doubt that he would have known that the chances of having to use lethal force on someone is considerably higher than normal. Otherwise, you wouldn't carry all that shit on you into a scenario like that. So I completely dismiss any idea from anyone, particularly Kyle Rittenhouse himself on stand saying that he didn't think he would have to shoot anyone. But you sure came dressed and prepared to do exactly that. And you don't clean graffiti off walls with an AR-15 slung over your shoulder. I mean, the graffiti can fucking wait until the area is safe before you shouldn't need to have an AR-15 with you just to wipe graffiti off of the wall. You wait till the fucking area is safe before you do that. Do it in the daytime when the sun is up. So, I have a major issue with that. And then the second issue is he wanted to be a medic and provide medical assistance. Okay, you want to provide medical assistance. You shoot 3 people and you don't provide any medical assistance to any of them. You do not dial 911 and you leave the scene, left the fucking state, and turn yourself in several hours later. That's not what a medic would do. This is why I'm saying soldiers get training before they go to war zones and combat zones. This Kyle Rittenhouse is exactly what can happen if you send a soldier to a combat, or you send a soldier to combat with no training. Now, I'm not saying that Rittenhouse is some evil guy. I'm willing to at least invest. I mean, what I would say, I'm willing to at least accept that he might have been attempting to fight the good fight, which is to, I guess we would say, restore law and order to Kenosha. But at the same time, he's also committing crimes to do so because he's not even legally allowed to carry the weapon that he was carrying. So I'm not going to go after him on the lower charges. I'm just simply talking about whether or not the man is a murderer. So I'm willing to accept anyone who believes that he may have been fighting a good fight in regards to protecting property and business. But at the same time, this is what happens when you send the wrong guy, or you send a kid to do a man's job, so to speak, or someone that's untrained in the combat. I mean, like I said, he shot 3 people, almost had his weapon taken, did not provide any medical assistance, did not even tell the cops he shot the person, and he ultimately left the scene. So what good did he do? Well, the only good that he did, I suppose, is if you wanted those 3 individuals to be dead, then he did that. But otherwise, yeah, he should not have been there. Nothing good came from Kyle Rittenhouse going to Kenosha, Wisconsin. And this is why I say there are no winners in this situation. Because even if Kyle Rittenhouse is acquitted, look at all the shit he's went through. I mean, how long has this guy had to lay in bed, looking at the ceiling, wondering, what happens if I'm found guilty? How much money does it cost the family? Now, I understand a lot of right-wingers and folks on that side of the aisle probably donated a ton of money to this guy because he does appear to have really good counsel. But at the same time, there is a possibility of losing, and he has had to find himself thinking about that over and over and over again over the last year or so. So there's no winners in this. It's just the amount of stress that he had to go through for doing some dumb shit. The cops, leave that up to the cops. Or at the very least, somebody who's trained in crowd control. 17 years of age. And I guess one of the other individuals that we don't talk about much is his fucking mom. His mom took him to this situation. So if for some reason this kid ends up getting some prison time, which a lot of us do not expect that will happen. His mom should at the very least feel guilty. Would you take your underage child to an event like this? I mean, if he really wanted to protect the community and you knew people were out there doing what they were doing, would you take your child with an assault rifle in a bulletproof vest and let him insert himself in some shit like that with no training? Because I understand if you want to send your child to the military because of terrorism or some shit like, well, they train your kid first. They provide your child with backup. Your child doesn't come home a fucking felon. So it's a whole different ball game. But would you as a parent, if you're a parent, would you send your kid into some bullshit like this? So yeah, at the very least, I think Mr. Rittenhouse was dumb as fuck to do what he did. And the friends that he had with him, who apparently were older than 18, yeah, they just got him into a whole bunch of fucking trouble because they're not on the stance. He is. You know, they didn't go through that. And they obviously were not around when he had to fight for his life, you know, which is another reason why I say if you're in combat, you can receive training. He would not have been walking by himself. It would have been at the very least a two-man team so you can somebody can watch your back when you're negotiating these scenes. He's roaming around the neighborhood all by himself like that. And yeah, look what happened. So while I do believe that Rittenhouse has a really good claim for self-defense, I don't feel sorry for him for anything he went through because it was intentional and deliberate. He placed himself in the equivalent of a war zone and he had to go to war. That's what kind of happens. That's the reason that you got the body armor and a gun in your hand, is because you want to be prepared if something goes down. Well, it went down, and because you have had no training, now you're fucked up in the head and you're crying on the stand. Boo-hoo. So what do you guys think? You think he has a legitimate case for self-defense? You think perhaps I'm correct in saying this guy is a vigilante, or at least has vigilante mentality? And there were social media posts that apparently came out of him watching riots that happened before the one he went to and saying that he wished he was there with his gun. I'm not going to go into that too much, but I'm just talking about what happened on that night. It looks like this man had a vigilante mindset, put himself deliberately and intentionally into a violent theater, and that's exactly what transpired, was violence. So what do you think? You think he's going to get off? Do you think he actually is a murderer that may get off from, you know, some legal twisting? We won't go too deep into that, but let me know. Once again, I'm gonna ask you to do, like I said, hit that subscribe button. Let your boy know what's going on. The numbers have been going up. I do appreciate you guys watching. Did you feel what I just had to say? If so, show your boy some love. Give me a thumbs up. If not, tell me what the fuck did I just say this wrong. I'm saying that the man has a legitimate case of self-defense, but I'm also saying that the man should not have fucking been there. He should not have been dumb enough to place himself in that situation. And even if he was a gung-ho 17-year-old, his goddamn mom is even worse. She should have been smart enough to let cooler heads prevail and not put her son into some bullshit like that. And the friend he took with him, that they went together to the store and bought, you know, a sling for their rifles, and they're trading bulletproof vests back and forth. This ain't G.I. Joe, folks. This is not G.I. This guy is, yeah, he's scarred for life behind this. So what do you think? You think he should walk? Or you think he fucked up and probably should do some time? Let your boy know in the comments. Holla at you later.